Are we going to be desperate during a surge at our hospital? Will you at yours? Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and welcome to my daily coronavirus series. I'm in Santa Barbara, California today, and I want to talk about some of the hottest topics in the nation and how it relates to my little town that has a population of about 100,000. In our county, we have a population about 450,000. Let's go to ground zero in my town. Let's go to our hospital. It's April 2nd, and I'm driving to my local hospital. I'm going a back route, and I'm seeing a lot of cars going this way too. I really didn't expect to see any cars on the road today. So I'm curious about maybe what's going on. On a route to the hospital is a local assisted living home. It's really convenient because it is by the hospital, but they definitely want you to know, no visitors. Do not come. There's some local tennis courts here, and it says tennis courts are closed. And this tennis court looks quite abandoned. It looks almost even too long for the COVID virus. I don't know. This is our beautiful hospital. It's called Cottage Hospital, and it just went through a major remodeling. That is the entry to the emergency ward. It has an awning out front, and there appears to be signs at the door. We have a patient coming out in a stretcher. Looks like leaving the hospital. That's probably really good news. That patient's going home. Yay! Near our hospital is all kinds of ancillary services. The Sansom Clinic over there has a respiratory therapy center. Across from the hospital is all kinds of doctors' offices. Lots of different specialists. Rheumatology, gastrointestinal doctors, urologists, gynecologists, a laboratory, cardiologists, every type of specialty you could think is in this building across the street from the hospital. They have a sign of do not enter. I don't know what that's about. That sign kind of freaks me out. You can't even enter the parking lot. It makes me think that all those other doctors are not available anymore. I wonder what that is. In Santa Barbara, there's still parking enforcement. That person parked in a yellow zone, and they're getting a ticket. In the main entrance of our hospital, there are a number of people to greet people as they come in with masks and probably to discuss why they're there coming into the hospital. We still are not doing well with our testing. We have 2 different labs that we use in different counties. We don't even have one in Santa Barbara County. The results take forever to get. We have 200 rapid tests coming on board as we get this new machine that's going to be in our Santa Barbara County Public Health Facility, which is great. It's going to make a big difference. But all in all, we only have about 400 tests, and they're saved for the high priority cases. And I can understand that. Those are the cases that come into the hospital with really sick people. And they need to save these tests because all the nursing and doctor personnel need to take tests to know if they have the virus to spread it to any of the emergency cases. So it's kind of like in our city, we're hoarding the tests for the high priorities. Oh, and of course, for sick people that are elderly and that really might need intensive care right away, they want to check those people too. But there's a certain tier of tests that get to go around. I'm filming on the street here by the hospital, and it's kind of strange how some people really don't even give you a wide berth, even though I'm down to my last little corner of space on a corner. So I'm really trying to do my best here to take up minimum space while I do this report. Oh boy, here we go again. Someone else is coming my way. I'm gonna get out of the way. Oh no, made it. Let me be more exact about the Tier 1 priority cases that will be tested. Tier 1 is, it says that are hospitalized and severely ill, regardless of age. Tier 1 is also healthcare workers with symptoms. Also, anyone sick in a nursing home that shows symptoms of COVID-19. And Tier 2 is over 60 with symptoms and have underlying conditions. So those are the people that get the priority of the testing. The weird thing about our testing results are, even though we've given a whole lot of tests, very few have shown positive. But in our town, many of us think that's probably because they're giving a lot of health workers tests, because that truly is our priority. We need to keep them well and keep them safe. We have people in the medical practice. This is great. They're keeping their distance and they have masks on. That's a really great example to see. Can you see them? They're right over there. I did a video last weekend where I went around in my car and drove around town and went to see all the parks and the beaches. And oh my gosh, I got so much grief in my town for airing that video. People were screaming at me like I'm the one we should all be worried about. I keep my distance, y'all know that. I'm one of the first people that came out with a mask, and now the masks are the big thing talked about all over the media. And y'all know I made a video, a very big video. Apparently it became one of the biggest videos on YouTube about how to make an N95 mask with a bra. And I just did my best. I was trying to come as close as I could. I even threw some citric acid in there because that is the active ingredient in N95s, along with you could throw some zinc in there and some copper. But I did my research and tried to do the best I can. And I'm glad I did because it's better than nothing. If you watch my videos, you'll know that I'm an advocate for being as socially or separated physically as you possibly can. I've been an advocate for wearing masks from the very beginning, and the reason is just wearing them, you're keeping your germs to yourself. And as we all know, and I can't believe the governor in Tennessee didn't know, like doesn't even make any sense. How could he not know that people are carrying and giving this illness unknowingly? They don't mean to, but they're in the days of the times without the symptoms. I mean, everybody knows a cold is that way, a basic cold. You could have a cold for 4 days and be asymptomatic, and by the time you're sneezing or coughing, of course you're really contagious, but we all know the first few days before even a cold, you're contagious. So this was ridiculous that the governor of Tennessee said that, I think. Okay, I ranted. Back to the mask. And so many people in our community are making these masks, including my friend Lucinda, who helped me design the N95 bra mask. I'd heard that N95 was the only way to protect you against the coronavirus. So I went about trying to figure out how to make one at home. And Lucinda and I collaborated and made this one. Hi, I'm Rebecca Brand, and I'm going to show you how to make an N95 DIY mask with a bra. Oh, and I have other designs too. Let's check these out. Here's the bra cup I used. I was designing around an N95 mask with a piece of metal. This is a fastener in office supplies that I could mimic this piece of metal in an N95 mask. This design was born out of necessity. It had a lot of the elements. I really thought it'd be so much better than nothing. And we also made a lot of other styles of masks too. It was just amazing to work with Lucinda as we figured out what we could do because we couldn't buy any in the United States. So we came up with all these different designs. I cut a coffee filter into a size that I can use. So between she and I, we thought of all these things that would just make this as best as we possibly could with just stuff we had around the house. And I'll tell you, I was just so tickled that this really took off. It resonated with our world at the time. It's got over 1 million views now because people need something to do because there's nothing to do if we just wait around to the day we can buy masks at a store. Lucinda and I even looked into active ingredients, and citric acid, which makes your dishes sparkling clean, was one of them, another household item. Was the one that I could create in my home. That was the best choice. She also made this one, which is very similar. It's got a viscose, which is super cheap to buy, so you don't have to ruin one of your good bras. It's got elastic. There's so many great people doing so many wonderful things. So, you know, there's a lot of negativity out there just for being an advocate and sharing your message and talking and also inviting other views, because you know I invite yours, and if you swear you get knocked off my channel. But if you say, you know, things and another opinion, it's interesting because everybody wants to know what everybody's thinking about this. We all are one. We're coming together. Now is the moment. We need to work together to be alive and to save our planet from people dying from this horrible virus. In our community, I was told we have some exterior surge buildings or tents or something being built all around Cottage Hospital. I thought, oh wow, I'd like to check out the progress. That would be wonderful. I don't see any yet. But that doesn't mean it's not happening, because we have another big facility about 10 minutes from here in a little subsidy of Santa Barbara called Goleta. So maybe it's out there. What's really eerie is when I look at the past videos I've made, like even a week ago, 2 weeks ago, it's really creepy how our awareness is coming daily and we're getting more of an understanding of where we're at and where we're going, and how our mood is. Isolation is such a tough thing. I am alone in my home. I'm doing recipe videos, a lot of them, but I'm finding out people don't really care about my recipe videos. People would rather talk to me and have a wonderful communication on my messages and the comments, which is really, really nurturing for me to read those. I love them, and I hope you still continue to write me on every video. It just means so much to me. I get comments from all around the world, and we get to share information and different experiences, because every community in America is going to have their own. Because of the weird statistical thing about Santa Barbara and how we don't having many tests, and the way we're just kind of following those that hit the ICU ward. We had our first death last night, which was, it just really put me into a depression, as I'm sure much of the town felt, to have your first death in a town. It's, because we all know more to come. It's just horrible. Okay, where was I? I'm telling you, it's just where we're going with this is likely to be so awful and devastating that I will not even believe today, April 2nd, that I'm as chipper and upbeat and, curious looking and talking about the topics of the day with you. One day it might get awfully distressing, stressful, panic, because the deaths might be so much. I want to go back to talking about our neighboring town, that's Ventura County. They are thinking they're going to need 18,000 ventilators, and that county is twice as big as us. And their public health department is coming out with the facts jack. They are framing the coronavirus in a very different way versus what our county is doing, in a frame-breaking way. They're telling their citizens this could be really bad, and as bad as 18,000 ventilators needed, when we all know that's a fantasy for a small county of Ventura, a little less than 1 million in the county, to have that many ventilators. That's just never going to happen. But letting the public know that might scare them into get home, stay home, don't, stop shopping so often. I mean, one of the biggest messages, I just have a lot to say today, would be, I think the shopping is the war zones in town. There's so many people out there, and for some people, it gets to be the thing to do. Well, I'm gonna go shopping today. We really should be shopping for a couple of weeks minimum and just making do with what we have in the home. This is the worst time that the virus is spreading. So, you may not have the things you're used to eating or the things you like to eat, but it may be the things you should eat, at least for now. This should be temporary. And then today's news is it's forecasting way late in the summer, and well, yeah, doesn't that make sense? If not everybody is 100% shut down, it's still gonna travel, it's still gonna spread. It's oh gosh, I'm getting depressed again. I'm gonna take a pause. I'm turning this off right now. I'll come right back. This is a prominent funeral home in Santa Barbara. My dad was here many years ago. But one of the statistics came out today is how many body bags New York ordered. I think the order was 20,000 body bags. Let's take a little look downtown and see what's going on. I see a lot of bike riders and walkers. This was the city center. It's so beautiful. We have the most beautiful architecture here. This guy was great. He pressed the crosswalk button with his elbow. Oh, I love it. New trick. Some bicyclists downtown. Is a bike shop open for renting? All the stores are closed. There is an eerie silence that's over our town. It's really strange. The streets are all but deserted. I bet that's like every town in USA. Here's some kids together. I wonder if they're together, I don't know. It's hard to tell these days who's living with who. We have a big homeless population in Santa Barbara, and you know, you worry about them. Who's taking care of them? It's really sad. All hotels have closed up in Santa Barbara, I understand. The Californian just opened last year. It's a beautiful Hotel California. Now there's a very big group of people sitting there with bicycles and on blankets. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a lot of people there. If we had enforcement, this might stop, and maybe, you know, I don't know, I see nice bikes, maybe they're not homeless, but I don't understand. Maybe they live together, so there is that possibility they live together. I'm gonna hope that that's the case, but as a observer, that definitely makes me feel, you know, uncomfortable. But they could be homeless living together. I mean, you know, in a tight social group because they're alone and they're banding together as if they live together. There's so many different ways of looking at this and wondering, and our town does not yet have fines yet. Now, I think that would be a bad sign. He's got a football to play, they're all together, what's going on there? That looks bad. They know I'm filming them, they know it. And I'm so thankful that our services are still continuing, like the garbage and all the things that makes our cities go round. And one of the things I'm thinking about is, I've got enough milk for my lattes for maybe 2 more days. You know, and I'm looking at all these places and going, where would be the very safest place? Or would I just order it in for a gallon or 2 of milk to last me another couple of weeks and then just, you know, totally sanitize the bottle? I don't know, my gallons. So, you know, that's the one thing I really don't want to give up is my delicious lattes. I might do a recipe on how to make, you know, almond milk, cashew milk, all the kind of nut milks, rice milks, all that kind of stuff, coconut milk. So that might be fun to explore that. One of my good friend Lucinda does that. So, you know, all the things that buzz through our head, you know, I float from, okay, I got to get dressed up for my YouTube channel today, so get the makeup on, but I get criticized for that. You know, I'm just sorry, but, you know, thousands of people see me, and it's like I'm going out. So tell me what you're going through. What's your thoughts? I don't care if they're airy-fairy, like, whatever. I mean, can you imagine? We're in a pandemic. It's beyond comprehension, I'm sure, for most people, right? How did we get here? You know, that's something to be discussed. So I'm just thankful that you came out with me today, and we're living this together. So subscribe to my channel, ring the bell to get notified of the next video. It's the top of my channel, so you can see it. It's the thing. You got to ring that stuff if you want to see some of these videos. Make sure you like and comment, and mostly tell me what's going on where you are and what you're grappling with every day. So I really appreciate you talking to me and watching this. So I'm going to sign off. Have a great day, please. Oh, my kid. Okay, sorry. For the last. Anybody that's hung in with this long. Clayton, my son. I talked to him yesterday for an hour on the phone. I mean, he ghosts me. It's like, Mom, oh gosh, Clayton, you have to let me know you're on live. You're in New York City. So he's still sick. Of course, he's not to the point he has to go to the hospital, so he's not having some of the major symptoms, but he is having what Chris Como has, which is he's feeling congested, might be a sinus congestion, all that. Well, that's how some people start with this, and then they just crash. So, but he's getting through, and don't worry, I'm fine. But you know, that's my kid. I'm fine, Mommy. You know, that's what I've got my whole life. So thank you all for asking me how's my son. So, okay. Oh, I really am going to go. Wordy, wordy, wordy. See, I've been in isolation too long. I need someone to talk to. Thanks for talking to me. I'm Rebecca Brand. Bye. See you next time.